Hey, welcome! Today we're going to dive into a really powerful technique that will completely transform your AI writing. Seriously, we are going to learn how to make your AI speak the exact language of your audience, which makes your content so much more effective. Let's get right into it.
You know that feeling, right? You ask for some text, an explanation, anything, and what you get back is, well, technically it's correct, but it's just so bland. There's no personality, and it doesn't really connect with anyone. It's a super common frustration, but believe me, there is a fantastic fix.
And that really is the heart of the problem, isn't it? I mean, whether you're trying to write a report for a boss, an essay for a class, or even just a simple email, if the tone and the complexity are off, the message just completely falls flat. Generic content is just forgettable content.
So, how do we fix this? Well, the solution is a technique called persona prompting, or as we're going to call it, persona and audience shaping. And this is where you stop being just a user and you start being a director, telling the AI exactly what role it needs to play. Okay, so here's the absolute key. You're giving the AI two critical pieces of info. First, you tell it who it is, the persona it needs to adopt. And second, you tell it who it's talking to. That's the audience. Just doing that one thing transforms its output from a generic wall of text into a message that feels personal, relevant, and perfectly tuned. So, why is this such a game changer? Well, this technique is just incredibly practical. You can take a single idea and, literally in seconds, create different versions for completely different groups. Imagine explaining a complex topic from one of your courses to a 10-year-old, and then, with a new prompt, turning that same idea into a sharp executive summary for a job application. That's the kind of power we're talking about here.
All right, so how do you actually do this? It's not complicated, I promise. I'm going to walk you through a super simple 4-step method that you can start using right now.
Okay, step 1, define your audience. Who are they? What do they already know? Step 2, assign that persona. You literally tell the AI, write as if you're talking to. Step 3, get specific about the tone. Use phrases like no jargon or make it an executive summary. And step 4, this is a great one, ask for examples and analogies that make sense in their world.
Now, theory is one thing, but seeing it in action is everything. So let's look at a few examples because the difference is just so dramatic when you apply these steps. This is really where the magic happens. Okay, check this out. We're explaining the exact same topic, prompt engineering. On the left, for an executive, the AI is all about business value, high-level ideas, no confusing jargon. But for the software engineer on the right, it can go deep into the technical details because it knows they have that background knowledge. Same topic, two totally different languages.
And this just shows you the incredible range. Explaining large language models to a 10-year-old, the AI might use an analogy like a super smart parrot that's read the whole internet. But for a university student, it can get right into the weeds, talking about training data, parameters, and tokens. You're basically creating two entirely different lessons from the exact same starting point.
Okay, now let's have a little fun with this to really drive the point home. What happens when we just push the boundaries of audience shaping as far as they can go? We ask the AI to explain itself to a medieval knight, a space explorer from the year 3000, and a talking dog. And would you look at these results? They're hilarious. The AI completely shifts its vocabulary, its metaphors, everything to fit into each world. For the knight, it's all about magic and scribes. For the explorer, it's a cognitive coprocessor. And for the dog, well, it's about what really matters, sticks and squirrels. This just proves how incredibly adaptable the AI is when you give it clear directions. Now, as you start messing around with this, you might run into a few common issues. But don't worry, they are super easy to fix. Let's just go over a couple of pro tips to make sure your prompts are hitting the mark every single time.
So the biggest mistake by far is just being too vague. Don't just say, make it simple. You have to tell it who it's for. A great rule of thumb is to always give at least 3 details: their role, their knowledge level, and their goal. And oh, I absolutely love this last tip. Ask the AI to check its own work. You can literally add to your prompt, does this response actually fit the persona I described? It works wonders.
All right, now it's time to put this amazing tool into your hands. Because honestly, the best way to get good at this is to just try it yourself.
So here is your challenge. I want you to pick a topic you know really well. Could be something from your major, a hobby, anything. First, ask the AI to explain it to a high school student. Then, open a new chat and ask it to explain the exact same thing to a busy executive who only has 60 seconds. You will be amazed at the difference.
So let's just wrap up the main idea here. It all comes down to this. When you take the time to define your audience, you turn a generic tool into a precision communication partner. This is the skill that separates the casual users from the people who are really creating amazing things with AI.
And that brings us to the end. You now have a framework that you can use to create perfectly tailored content for any situation you can imagine. So the final question? It's for you. Think about your projects, your schoolwork, your future career. Now that you know how to shape the message for any audience, what are you going to build with it?